Astarion. Let's talk about the prettiest disaster in all of Baldur's Gate and his brand new expanded lore. There's a new book. He's got the sharpest cheekbones, the worst coping mechanisms, and the most dramatic file on the city's supernatural HR desk. Astarion Akunin is not just a vampire spawn with good hair and terrible trauma. He's a 200-year-old tug of war between power, survival, hunger, and the bone-chilling possibility of freedom. Because the question was never, is Astarion a monster? The real question is, who made him one, and who does he choose to be now? Hi friends, I'm Betty Rage, your favorite nerdy goth mom, and this hot mess is Lashes in Lore, where I unpack horrifying magical systems, emotionally damaged characters, and questionable life choices while trying to make my eyeliner match. So I have my work cut out for me. And today we are doing the full story of Astarion, Baldur's Gate 3 canon, and the new Book of Hungers expansion, woven together into one big, dramatic, deliciously unhinged narrative. We are going to talk about who he was before the coffin, what Cazador actually did to him, and why freedom actually terrifies him, why power seduces him, and how the Book of Hungers blows the crypt door wide open. New lore about his family, his hunting grounds, Cazador's infernal secrets, and the entire vampiric underworld. And if you're interested in what it is I'm slathering on my face today while we talk about vampire trauma, all the products that I'm using will be down in the description below. Because we're here for the story, I just do the makeup to kind of keep my hands busy, neurodivergent and such. I'm sure somebody out there understands what I'm talking about. Now, let's go back to the last time Astarion actually belonged to himself. Astarion wasn't always a creature of the night. Before the bite, he was an elf magistrate in Baldur's Gate. A man who believed in rules, justice, process, until the city that he served led him straight into Cazador's claws. But Cazador didn't kill him. That would actually have been merciful. He turned him into a vampire spawn, a creature trapped between life and death, bound by absolute obedience, unable to resist commands, and forced to feel, lure, and kill on command. For 2 entire centuries, Astarion served as a tool, a pet, a weapon, and every night he hunted. Every day he was locked away beneath Cazador's palace. Every moment of hunger, humiliation, and pain carved a new scar. Before we continue into this descent into lore-induced madness, let's talk about accessories from our sponsor today, because your original character deserves main character energy on and off the table. You ever wish that you could take your D&D character everywhere with you? Like a little emotional support necromancer on your car keys? Well, now you can. Explaining your original character to your coworkers is kind of awkward. She's a half-elf witch who moonlights as a pop star. That doesn't exactly fit into a casual chat about the weather. But with Hero Forge's custom acrylic keychains, you can just show them off. They use the same tech as their color standees, durable, detailed, and ready to clip onto your keys, bags, or dice pouch. It's the perfect mix of cute and cursed. So head over to HeroForge.com and make your adventurer portable. Emotional support bar now included. Now back to your regularly scheduled unhinged lore dive with me in the past or the future, depending on, you get it. So when Baldur's Gate 3 opens and Astarion suddenly discovers that he can disobey, that freedom hits him harder than sunlight. Oh, and quick side note, if you haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 and you are avoiding spoilers even though it's been out for several years, this might not be the video for you. Anyways, do with that as you'd like. Because I'm going to go into game lore and book lore together to talk about Astarion. But do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do. So anyways, he wakes up and he realizes that he can disobey. And that freedom, it hits him harder than sunlight. But freedom, it's messy. And hunger is simple. Then along comes the illithid and the tadpoles. In game, you are able to allow Astarion to consume them. But this is how he is able to get his first taste of power, of freedom. And when the tadpole lands in Astarion's skull, it doesn't just threaten to turn him into an illithid. It actually cuts Cazador's leash. And for the first time in 2 centuries, Astarion can say no. He can push back. He can take what he wants, and he can feel strong without any consequences, but he doesn't know why he's free. He just knows that he finally is. And this is when he starts flirting, scheming, testing all the boundaries, like a Victorian cat boy who just discovered caffeine. But the real danger isn't his freedom. It's the taste of power and the terrifying realization that he likes it. Because the tadpole isn't just a key out of his cage, it's a mirror. He sees exactly how easily he could become the same kind of monster that made him. So, eventually, Astarion learns the truth. Cazador has been preparing a ritual for hundreds of years, one that requires the death of 7,000 spawn, including Astarion and his siblings. This ritual is to elevate Cazador himself into something godlike. Book of Hungers, it reveals that Cazador isn't just a vampire. He's a vampire infernalist, a mage of the 9 hells, bound to Mephistopheles. Yeah, nailed it, said that one right. It's the little wins, right? Saying Mephistopheles correct the first time. Sometimes eyeliner doesn't match perfect, and that's okay. It's really not okay. It pisses me off. Robert, it's pissing me off.
Robert, it's pissing me off.
Am I Marcus? Okay, I'm the makeup Marcus. Anyways, right, so Cazador is a vampire infernalist, a mage with the 9 hells, bound to Mephistopheles. I spoke too soon. I was going to mess it up if I... Anyways, moving on. To Mephistopheles, and his undead children aren't just thralls, they are fuel. And Astarion, well, he's not second spawn because Cazador liked him. He's second spawn because he was meant to be a linchpin in the ritual. Astarion isn't a favored child. He's a critical ingredient. So, when the ritual chamber is full, all 7,000 spawn screaming in silence, Astarion finally faces the question his entire life has been building toward. Do you take power, or do you take your freedom? If he chooses ascension, Astarion becomes a vampire ascendant, something stronger, crueler, and even more terrifying than Cazador ever dreamed. He becomes the tyrant who hurt him. So ultimately, he has to decide. If he chooses freedom, he destroys the ritual, frees the spawn, and finally breaks the chain that defined him. He doesn't become powerful, he becomes whole. Neither path is really easy. Both demand a sacrifice, and that's the heart of his character. Astarion does not struggle with being evil. He struggles with being afraid. Afraid of hunger, of vulnerability, of never being safe again. Power protects him, freedom exposes him, and the game lets you decide which truth that he actually embraces. But now, we open the coffin door on the Book of Hungers and see just how massive Astarion's world really is. So this book, it actually expands his history in brutally delicious detail, if you ask me. We learn more of Cazador's spawn family, Aurelia, Violet, Petrus, Yusin, Leon, a whole dysfunctional undead sibling group, raised under terror, infernal contracts, and cruelty. Each sibling has a role in the ritual, a personal relationship with Astarion and their own warped survival tactics. Violet wants Astarion dead. Aurelia keeps secrets. Leon guards his daughter. And Eusen is a hunter. Petrus is arrogant and loyal. This is really not a family. It's a hierarchy of generational trauma. Cazador, the infernalist, he serves Mephistopheles. Nailed it again. Binding his vampirism with devilish arcana. His palace is a lair warped by hellfire. His beasts are charmed by dusk, and even the walls understand suffering. This isn't just a vampire. This is a devil's apprentice. So, no wonder Astarion never stood a chance. And then we have the Rat's Run, which is Astarion's hunting ground. Astarion didn't hunt random victims. He hunted in a place that was literally built for predators. Criminals disappear without question. Law enforcement is literally banned, and bribes flow through secret rooms. And a Rakshasa named Rigra runs the whole thing. Patrons vanish nightly. Astarion wasn't sloppy, he was strategic, and he hunted where no one cared to look. The Book of Hunger shows us Violet plotting his assassination, Cazador sending wardens and devils to recapture him. Astarion is manipulating gangs, hunters, and patrons just to survive. His constant dance between hunter and hunted, it recontextualizes everything that we know about him. He didn't become cunning because he wanted to. He became cunning because it was the only way to stay alive. So the Book of Hungers makes it absolutely impossible to ignore that every single person in Astarion's life is a reflection of who he could have become if he'd chosen differently. Cazador shows the path of absolute power. Aurelia shows survival through silence, and Petrus shows survival through obedience. Violet shows survival through cruelty, and Leon shows survival through desperate love. And then Eusen shows survival through violence without thought. Every single one of them is a coping mechanism in a cloak. And the hottest take that this book hands us is that Astarion isn't the outlier. He is the anomaly. He's the only one who doesn't survive by becoming smaller. He survives by becoming unmanageable. Cazador wanted weapons. He wanted tools. He wanted predictable children who moved exactly where he pointed. And Astarion was the only one who kept a piece of himself hidden inside. I mean, maybe trembling, of course, but he still did it, untouched. He was designed to be the linchpin of a ritual. He was never designed to be a person. And the irony is painful. The only thing that made him difficult is also the same thing that made him free. He doesn't have the cruelty, detachment, loyalty, hope, and simplicity of his siblings. What he has is defiance. And that's the one trait that Cazador never managed to beat out of him. And that's why the Ascension choice really hits so hard, because the question was never power or no power. The question is, does Astarion become another version of his siblings? Or does he become something the palace never prepared him for? Someone who decides who he is, even when it hurts. And that's the real mirror that the Book of Hungers holds up. Not a story about monsters, a story about what you become when everything around you is trying to shape you. And now that we've seen the full machinery of Cazador's world, the family, the devils, the hunting grounds, and the infernal chains, we can finally step back and talk about what all of this actually means for Astarion's story. Astarion, the hunger, the horror, the infernal, the politics, the family drama, and the choice that defines him. He isn't tragic because he's a vampire. He is tragic because the world he escaped is almost worse than the one he could have become. And here we have our final look. It was important to me to not make this like a thirst trap about Astarion, but like about the actual story, the character, and what all that meant. Maybe it's because I'm a monster lover myself. I got a little serious about this one. Not as many jokes. I dove straight in, head first to the trauma of it all. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I come here to tell the stories, and what a tragic, layered one Astarion really is. What's your opinion? Have you picked up the Book of Hungers? Are you a Astarion fan? Do you like the video game? Let me know in the comments below. And I actually really do recommend the Book of Hungers. It's yet another interesting way that Wizards of the Coast are expanding the world via Baldur's Gate 3. So, bravo. I'm Betty Rage, your favorite nerdy goth mom, and this was Lashes and Lore, where the magic is messy, the eyeliner is flawless, sometimes, and we're all just out here doing our best. So be good to each other, love each other, make good choices, and as always, free mom hugs from me to you. And if you haven't gotten your fill of the Forgotten Realms, you can just check out this video here.